This afternoon, I'd like to talk to you guys about prescription drugs and what it's doing in our society today. It's actually become the drug of choice of our teenagers and those that are in high school, and that's mainly because of the convenience that they're able to get these drugs so easily. But it has actually become an epidemic in our nation. 52 million Americans actually report having abused prescription drugs. That's actually 1 out of every 5 people over the age of 12 are abusing prescription drugs, 20% in America today. In 2007, the number of overdoses from opiate prescriptions outnumbered the overdoses from heroin and cocaine combined. So whenever we think of somebody overdosing on drugs, generally heroin is the drug that comes to mind, but actually opiate prescriptions, painkillers, Vicodin, Percocet, Oxycontin are causing overdoses. And in the year 2011, the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention actually labeled prescription drug abuse as a national epidemic. So it's something seriously that we need to consider. Our youth today are doing some crazy stuff with these Skittles and farming parties where they're just mixing all kinds of pills together and reaching in a bowl, grabbing a handful, and throwing them in their mouths, and it's just really kind of causing havoc amongst our youth. But prescription drugs today are being used now more than ever before. We go to the doctor, it's real easy to get a prescription. The mentality today is take a pill for what ails you. And if you've got a headache, let's get a pill. If you're depressed, let's get a pill. If whatever it is, I need a pill. I need some medicine. I need something to make me feel better. A lot of that has to do with the commercial advertising for prescription drugs. It's just being pumped into us every day through the media. That hey, this pill, this drug will solve whatever problem you have, no matter what it is. But specifically with pain and depression and things like that. Pain management, ADHD, anxiety, depression are the top 4 of which cause the drugs that are being abused. When you look at drugs across the board that are being abused by people ages 12 and over, these statistics are from 2010. Marijuana continues to be the number 1 drug of choice, with about 2.5 million people reporting abusing marijuana, which is regular use on a daily basis. Pain relief is right behind them with over 2 million. So you've got 2 million that are regularly abusing these drugs in 2010 alone. So, and it continues down, tranquilizers. You get way on down, about a little more than halfway down before you even get to cocaine, and even further before you get to heroin, which are 2 big drugs you think of when you think of drug addiction and drug abuse. Heroin and cocaine are big players, and there's certainly some big numbers, but painkillers have far surpassed them. One of the main reasons is if you look at the progression of prescriptions per year, 1991 there was only 76 million prescriptions for the whole year of opiate pain medicine. Tripled by 2011, over 219 million prescriptions. So it's just being prescribed left and right, real easy to get. Same thing with stimulants like for depression and things like that. Only 4 million in 1991, up to 51 million now in 2011. So these prescriptions are just so easy to get, and it's a drug of choice with our teenagers because they don't have to go to the corner anymore to get it. They can get it right at home. They can get it from their friends in school. They're getting it from medicine cabinets. It's just right there. It's just right at their fingertips. Over half, when you look at where are our children getting these drugs, over half are actually coming from friends and relatives. They were given to them for free by a friend or a relative, 55%. And if you go down, how many are actually getting a prescription? Only 17% are actually getting a prescription from the doctor. 55% are getting it from a family member or a friend for free. So this is causing a lot of problems medically. Overdose is a big deal. We talked about the overdose deaths surpassing heroin and cocaine combined, but also the number of ER visits due to some sort of complication with taking a combination of meds or too many meds have tripled from 2004. This is 2008 statistic. From 150 to over 300,000 emergency room visits involving narcotic pain relievers, And then you've got the number of deaths involving drug overdoses from the 70s now have multiplied 8 times due to prescription drugs. So it's not a joke. It's something that we need to seriously consider. Our children are dying, adults are dying, and it's something we need to take a look at. What can we do? Certainly we can increase awareness and education. There's prescription monitoring programs that help, and they need to explore looking at some alternatives to narcotic medicines and things we can do besides immediately resorting to a prescription for a narcotic. Increased awareness, training of medical staff and physicians in abuse and addiction. A lot of doctors know that addiction is there, but a lot of them don't really understand the consequences, the true consequences of addiction, what it does in a family. They understand the medical aspect of it, but they're not looking at what it does to families and children and things like that. They need to know before they prescribe the drug. Awareness of parents and the general public about the risks, including abuse and the consequences of misuse of prescriptions. What is my giving my teenage son one of my Vicodin? What is that potentially going to do? He just fell off his bicycle and busted his arm. You know, he's hurt. What's the problem? Give him a Vicodin. The doctor gave me a Vicodin. What's the potential behind that? Educational programs on the signs and symptoms of abuse and related trends and the drug abuse scene. You know, a lot of parents are just naive to what their kids are doing, and they need to know and understand. Pharmaceutical companies should, in my opinion, as a public relations and a PR effort, should finance this initiative. They should pay for the classes. They should pay for the educational and awareness portion of what we need to do in the community. But also, I believe they need to also put addiction warnings on all the meds, and as well, maybe even provide lock boxes for families with children that can lock up the meds and make sure that their children can't get into them. Prescription monitoring basically is an electronic database that all physicians and pharmacists have access to, where I get a prescription from a doctor. I can't go up street to the next doctor and get another prescription and then take it to 2 or 3 different pharmacies and double up, triple up on the meds. There's a statewide database that they go to, and it kind of prevents that from happening. So that's one thing that states are doing now. 34 actually are doing that to help curtail people doing all sorts of things. So yes, we can overcome the problem. It's not a lost cause. It's something that there is hope. There's something that we can do. Certainly we need to, again, educate each other, be aware of what's going on, look for signs and symptoms in our youth, especially if you have teenagers. But it's something that we can't ignore. If we don't do anything about it, it's just going to continue to wreak havoc in our youth. It's going to continue to be a problem, and our kids are dying every day. And it's something that we can just no longer ignore. So in closing, I would just say that I would pay attention for those of you that have teenagers. Look at what they're doing. Check your medicine cabinets. If you have any prescriptions, pain meds in and of themselves, antidepressants in and of themselves are not bad things. They're medicine. People do need them, but they're also abused. So lock them up, take care. If you can do without a